Welcome to our deep dive. This time we're exploring sessions 1 and 2 of the raw material. Ever thought about connecting with a being from another dimension?
It is a fascinating concept.
These sessions are like transcripts, communications from an entity calling itself, well, Ra.
And Ra claims to be a sixth-density social memory complex.
Sixth density.
Yes.
The researchers who recorded these sessions were really dedicated. They wanted to understand consciousness and maybe contact with extraterrestrial intelligence.
It's pretty mind-blowing. Ra says they've interacted with ancient civilizations before.
Like who?
Including the Egyptians trying to share this law of one.
It's a lot to take in, like a giant cosmic puzzle. We're trying to figure out these messages, understand what Ra's really trying to tell us.
Definitely.
Let's start with this social memory complex. What does that even mean?
It's like a collective consciousness. A bunch of beings merged into one entity.
So picture a massive network. Minds, experiences, and knowledge all woven together.
That's exactly a unified entity.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But how did they actually talk to this advanced being? Was it like super sci-fi?
They used channeling. One of the researchers, Carla, became the instrument.
The instrument.
Yeah. Ra explains that they could communicate by manipulating her vocal cords. So they were basically speaking through her.
That's wild. What about this law of one that keeps coming up? Seems pretty important.
It is. It's essentially the idea of unity. Everything in the universe being connected.
So it's not just about getting information.
Yeah.
It's about applying it to our lives
Uh-huh.
and making choices that reflect this connection.
Right. Ra emphasizes service to others. That's a big part of aligning with the law of one. It's a driving force in our spiritual evolution.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Mm.
Ra claims to have visited Earth before,
Yeah.
interacted with the ancient Egyptians. They even say they were known as the Egyptian sun god.
That's a fascinating connection. But Ra clarifies that they came as brothers and sisters. They were trying to teach this law of one.
So they came in peace.
Right. But there's a twist. Ra suggests their message was distorted by the Egyptians. Those in power especially, they hoarded the knowledge, twisted it for their own benefit.
So after all this time, they're back, trying to set things straight, to give a clear understanding of the law of one.
That's one interpretation. They're trying to clear up those misunderstandings and share a more complete view of their teachings.
What about those other attempts Ra mentioned? The contacts with other civilizations. There's a mention of South America, too.
It seems those attempts to help humanity to share the law of one, they also led to misinterpretations.
Didn't go as planned.
Right. Ra even expresses a sense of responsibility for those misunderstandings, like they feel bad about how things turn out.
Makes sense. It's almost like they're trying to redeem themselves, learn from those past mistakes, and offer a clearer message this time.
It's an interesting way to look at it. There's a sense of wanting to teach and learn, to share knowledge that can benefit humanity.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's one thing that really grabbed my attention. Ra talks about building pyramids using the forces of one,
Right.
and they even describe the stones as being alive. What do you make of that?
It definitely challenges our usual ideas about ancient technology. Makes you wonder about consciousness, the capabilities of these advanced civilizations, how they understood energy and matter.
So their view of reality and what's possible is just different from ours.
Absolutely.
And channeling gets even more interesting here. Ra says it's a delicate way to communicate. It involves both the conscious and subconscious mind of the instrument.
Right. It's complex.
So Carla's mind is involved in the process.
Yes. They highlight minimizing distortion. That's why someone dedicated like Carla was so important. And the group had to maintain focus. It was all about clarity.
Like walking a tightrope, keeping things balanced with all these intense energies around.
Exactly. A delicate balance.
Speaking of being intentional, the researchers used specific rituals during the sessions, right?
Yeah, they were very particular. They used candles, incense, specific objects. They positioned everything carefully.
According to Ra's instructions.
Exactly. They were creating a specific atmosphere conducive to clear communication. They knew this was important and approached it with a lot of respect.
It sounds like they were really cautious.
They were. They understood the significance.
All right. There's something else I wanted to ask about. This concept of a quarantine. What's Ra talking about?
Ra claims Earth is under a kind of quarantine. It's like a protective barrier set up by benevolent beings to prevent interference.
Interference from who?
From a group they call the Orion Group.
Okay. Who are they?
They're described as being negatively polarized, focused on serving themselves. They want to control others.
So it's like a cosmic shield,
Yeah,
protecting us from a dangerous influence.
that's a good way to put it.
But if this quarantine exists, can the Orion group break through?
Ra suggests there are moments, like windows or breaches, they can get limited access. It's presented as a challenge and an opportunity for us, for Earth's inhabitants, to choose our own path, to resist manipulation and align with our true nature.
It sounds like a cosmic drama. Forces of light and darkness battling it out. And we're caught in the middle?
We are. According to Ra, our choices matter. They affect the balance of energies and influence the direction of our collective journey.
I'm curious about the Orion group. How do they try to influence us? What are their tactics?
Ra describes them using different methods: telepathic communication, sometimes even direct physical contact. They often target individuals who are susceptible to suggestion. They want to spread their philosophy, the idea of serving yourself, encouraging separation, control, and domination.
What about the Confederation, the group Ra claims to belong to? They contact people too, right?
Yeah.
What's their approach like?
It's much more subtle, respectful of free will. They often communicate through dreams, visions, or intuitive feelings. They're trying to awaken individuals to their true nature, their potential.
So they're not forcing anything.
No. Their goal is to empower us, encourage us to make choices that align with our highest selves, whether that's service to others or service to self.
It's a stark contrast. Two opposing forces using completely different strategies, and we're in the middle of it.
We are. It highlights the complexity of our reality. We're not just physical beings, we're spiritual beings too, caught in a dance of energies and choices.
So what's the biggest takeaway from all this, from Ron's discussion of these contacts?
It's the idea of free will. Both the Confederation and the Orion Group are bound by this principle. They can influence, offer information, present opportunities, but the choice is always ours.
So we have the freedom to choose our path, but also the responsibility for those choices.
Exactly. And those choices affect more than just ourselves. They ripple outward, affecting the collective consciousness, shaping reality itself.
Okay, let's talk about another key theme from the raw material. Polarity. Ra describes our existence as a realm of polarity. What does that mean?
Basically, we're presented with a choice: to focus on serving others or serving ourselves. This choice isn't about being good or bad. It's about the direction of our energy, the motivation behind our actions.
So it's not about being good or bad, but about the intention behind our actions.
Exactly.
So someone could do something that seems good on the surface,
Yeah.
but their motivation might be selfish.
Right. And on the other hand, someone could make mistakes, but their core intention is to help others.
It's a subtle but important difference. How does this idea of polarity show up in our daily lives? Can you give me some examples?
Sure. Imagine someone needs help. Someone with a negative polarity might help, but they'll expect something in return: recognition, favors, a sense of power.
They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
Right. But someone with a positive polarity would help freely, motivated by compassion, a genuine desire to help.
It's about the intention, the heart behind the action. Does Ra suggest that this polarity extends beyond individuals to entire societies?
Yes, definitely. Ray describes social memory complexes like the Confederation and the Orion Group as expressions of polarity on a larger scale. These groups embody the principles of service to others or service to self. Their actions reflect the dominant polarity within their group.
So it's not just about our individual choices.
Yeah.
We're also participating in this larger cosmic drama, contributing to the overall balance of polarity in the universe.
That's a powerful way to put it. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of everything. Our choices, individually and collectively, have a big impact. We're all part of this grand tapestry, woven together by energy, intention, and choice.
It's a lot to think about. This idea that we're not isolated beings, but part of this vast interconnected web of consciousness. So how do we navigate this complex landscape of polarity, especially with groups like the Confederation and the Orion Group vying for influence?
Ra emphasizes seeking knowledge, cultivating compassion, and developing discernment. We need to question things, explore, and make choices that align with our deepest truth.
It's like a journey of self-discovery, a process of conscious evolution. It's amazing that the raw material, as challenging as it can be, offers a potential guide for this journey. Speaking of journeys, Ra describes a pretty unique one: the journey of the soul after death. What happens to our consciousness when we leave this physical realm?
Ra presents a model of the afterlife, describing the soul as continuing to exist, just in a different form. There's a process of healing, review, and preparation for the next incarnation. The choices we make in our physical lives, our spiritual development, and the polarity we embrace. It all influences that transition and the experiences we encounter.
It's like planting seeds. The choices we make now determine what we'll experience later. Does Ra talk about reincarnation, the idea that we come back to this physical realm multiple times?
Reincarnation, according to Ra, is a process of learning and growth. Each lifetime gives us new chances to experience, to learn, to refine our understanding of the law of one. Through repeated incarnations, we shed our distortions, expand our consciousness, and move closer to realizing unity.
Like a cosmic school. Each lifetime is a new lesson. What a profound concept, the idea that we're not just living one life, but a series of connected lives, each building on the last.
And each contributing to the grand symphony of existence. We're all part of this vast web of souls, journeying through time and space, learning, growing, and evolving toward realizing our true nature.
It's both humbling and inspiring. It gives a sense of purpose that goes beyond our current understanding.
Speaking of expanding our understanding, let's explore another part of the raw material, the concept of densities. Ra says reality is structured into densities, each representing a different level of consciousness. Can you explain that?
Ra outlines 7 main densities. Each density has a specific frequency of vibration, level of awareness, and set of lessons. As souls evolve, they move through these densities, gradually expanding their consciousness, moving closer to the source of creation.
Like climbing a cosmic ladder. Each run is a higher level of being.
That's a good way to visualize it. Each density has its own unique characteristics, challenges, and opportunities for growth. Can you give me a quick overview of the first few densities to illustrate this progression?
Of course. The first density is the density of awareness. It's the realm of basic elements, minerals, fire, water, and the very beginnings of life, pure potentiality, where consciousness is just starting to emerge.
The building blocks of everything. What's next?
The second density is growth. This is the realm of plants and animals. Consciousness develops through instinct, survival, the beginnings of self-awareness. It's like individuality is starting to stir.
And then there's the third density, our current level of existence, where we're dealing with a duality of service to self and service to others, making choices that shape our spiritual evolution. What's beyond that?
The fourth density is love and understanding. It's a realm of greater harmony, compassion, and spiritual awareness. Souls who have successfully chosen service to others move on to this density. They continue to learn and evolve, but with a stronger sense of unity and purpose.
It sounds like a realm of expanded consciousness, deeper connection. What lies beyond that?
The fifth density is wisdom. It's a realm of even greater understanding, knowledge, and spiritual mastery. Souls in this density act as guides and teachers, helping those in lower densities evolve. They embody a profound level of compassion and wisdom, acting as beacons of light.
A realm of profound spiritual insight and service. What about the sixth density?
The sixth density is unity. Here, the polarities of service to self and service to others start to merge. Souls in this density embody a profound level of love and understanding. They see all things as expressions of the one.
It sounds like a return to oneness, a dissolving of separation. And finally, the seventh density.
The seventh density is completion. It's the realm of pure spirit, where souls rejoin the source of creation, completing the cycle of evolution. It's a realm beyond our current understanding, a state of pure being and infinite potentiality.
It's a mind-boggling concept, this idea of densities and the evolution of consciousness through these realms.
It is. It's a vast and intricate model of reality, one that challenges our current understanding. But within this complexity, there's a message of hope and inspiration, a reminder that we're all on a journey of growth, expansion, and ultimately a return to unity.
Where does the Orion group fit into this framework of densities? Do they exist within this system?
Yes. Ra places the Orion group mainly in the fourth density. They've chosen the path of service to self, but they haven't reached the level of wisdom and understanding to move beyond the need for control and manipulation.
So they're still trapped in the game of separation, the illusion of power over others.
Exactly. Their actions reflect this limited perspective. They want to dominate, control, bend others to their will.
It's the opposite of the Confederation's approach, which is all about love, compassion, and respecting free will.
Absolutely. This difference in orientation, this fundamental choice of polarity, plays out in their interactions with humanity and their overall impact on the cosmic tapestry.
It reminds us that our choices matter. They shape not only our individual destinies, but also the evolution of consciousness itself.
And that we're all interconnected, part of a grand cosmic dance of energies, intentions, and choices.
It's a lot to contemplate,
Yeah.
but also empowering. It reminds us that we're not just passive observers, but active participants in how reality unfolds.
And that we have the power to choose love over fear, unity over separation, and compassion over judgment. Ra also talks about the concept of harvest, the process by which souls transition from one density to the next. Would you like to hear about that? It's kind of like a natural process. Happens at the end of a cycle within a density.
Okay.
It's an evaluation. Souls are assessed based on their spiritual development, how aligned they are with the law of one. Those who have reached a certain level, understanding, alignment with their chosen polarity, they move on to the next density, continue their evolution.
So it's like a cosmic graduation. But what about those who aren't ready, who haven't reached that level?
They repeat the cycle, reincarnate back into the same density to keep learning and growing. It's not a punishment, just a natural part of the journey.
Okay, so they get another chance to learn from past experiences and eventually move on. Does Ra say when this harvest happens on Earth?
Ra indicates that Earth is in transition from a third density to fourth density.
So it's happening now.
It's a process, a period of intense change, individually and collectively. We're facing our shadows and making choices that will shape the future.
So we're living in a time of transformation,
Uh-huh.
big moment for consciousness on this planet.
Exactly. Ra describes this harvest as an opportunity, a chance to break free from old patterns, embrace our true nature, and help create a more harmonious world.
It's kind of daunting, but also exciting to realize we're living through this shift. Ra also talks about the choice, capital C. What's that about?
The choice is that fundamental decision we make in third density, service to others or service to self.
It sounds pretty important.
It shapes our reality, influences our thoughts, actions, and ultimately our destiny.
The defining choice, the one that sets the course for our spiritual evolution.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process, really, a continuous refinement of our intentions and actions, shaping the path of our souls.
So we're always choosing, every moment, reinforcing our chosen polarity through our thoughts and actions.
Right, we're not just passive observers, we're active creators of our reality.
And every choice matters.
Even the seemingly small ones, they all contribute to the bigger picture, who we are.
It's a message of hope and empowerment. It challenges us to live intentionally and to strive to make a positive difference. What I find fascinating is how Ra combines ideas from ancient wisdom traditions with their unique view on the universe and consciousness. Their insights into human history are especially interesting.
Yes. Ra's account often matches what we know from history, but offers a different perspective. For example, they confirm that Atlantis existed, describing it as a technologically advanced civilization that destroyed itself through misuse of technology, and a descent into aggression and conflict.
A cautionary tale. It's like a warning about unchecked ambition and the importance of balancing technological progress with spiritual wisdom.
Exactly. Ra also mentions another civilization, Lemuria. They were more spiritually in tune, lived in harmony with nature, but natural disasters wiped them out.
It reminds us of how history repeats itself, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the power of nature.
Ra's insights into these ancient civilizations really highlight something. We need to learn from the past. Recognize those patterns that keep showing up throughout history.
What about our civilization? Does Ra say anything about the challenges and opportunities we face as we move into fourth density?
Ra emphasizes that we're in a time of purification. We're shedding old patterns, reorienting ourselves toward a higher level of being. They suggest that the challenges we're dealing with, wars, environmental problems, social unrest, they're all part of this transition.
So it's like we're purging negativity
Yeah,
and choosing a new path. It gives us a deeper understanding of what's happening in the world.
right. It encourages us to look beyond the surface, see the opportunity for growth and transformation, even in the midst of challenges.
Ra also talks about balancing our energy centers. Can you tell me more about that?
Ra describes our energy system as a network of energy centers, or chakras. Each chakra is associated with different parts of our being: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. They emphasize that these energy centers need balance and harmony for us to function at our best, both individually and collectively.
It's like tuning an instrument. Each string has to be in tune for the music to sound right.
Perfect analogy. Ra says that a lot of the problems we face, illness, emotional distress, spiritual confusion, they come from imbalances in our energy systems.
So how do we find that balance? What practices did Ra recommend?
Meditation, mindfulness, practices that increase self-awareness, Our thoughts, emotions, and actions directly affect our energy systems and the overall balance of our being.
It's a holistic approach, recognizing how interconnected we are, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Ra's teachings on energy centers gives a valuable framework for understanding how complex we are and for cultivating greater balance and well-being. What's really interesting to me is Ra's perspective on the connection between the physical and the metaphysical.
Ra says they're not separate, they're two sides of the same coin. The physical realm is a manifestation of the metaphysical. It's like consciousness taking form.
So the physical world is a canvas, and we paint our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions onto it.
Exactly. Understanding the metaphysical principles behind reality, that's how we gain more control over our lives, shape our experiences.
It's a powerful idea. We're not just passive observers. We're active creators. Time is another concept Ra addresses, and their perspective is really different from our usual understanding.
Ra says time is nonlinear, it's fluid, and ultimately an illusion of our third density perception. From a higher perspective, the past, present, and future all exist at the same time. We experience them sequentially because of the limitations of our current awareness.
It's a mind-bending idea,
Yeah.
but it opens up so many possibilities.
It suggests that we can experience a much wider range of things and potential timelines than we typically realize. Our choices and intentions influence our journey through time.
Ray's insights challenge us to expand our view of what's possible and embrace the power of choice.
The journey of self-discovery, the quest for understanding, the evolution of consciousness, these are ongoing processes that extend beyond our current perception of time and space.
Ray's teachings are filled with such profound concepts. There's one I'm really curious about, the concept of wanderers.
They're souls from higher densities, but they choose to be born into third density to help the planet evolve and help people grow spiritually.
Like they're volunteers, here to help us through this tough realm, awaken to our true potential.
That's a good way to put it.
What makes wanderers different from those of us who are, native to third density?
Wanderers often feel alienated, like they don't belong, because their souls vibrate at a different frequency.
It's like having a memory you can't quite grasp, of a place you can't quite recall.
Right, like being a stranger in a strange land, looking for connection, something familiar.
So this feeling of being different can be tough, but it can also be a good thing.
Exactly. It can make them yearn for connection, for a world that reflects the love and harmony of their true home.
So it's a unique experience, shaping their path, what's their purpose, why come to this density.
Ra says they're here to be beacons of light, radiating love and compassion, helping others wake up to their true selves.
It sounds like a noble mission, a selfless act, especially given the challenges.
Wanderers often don't remember their origins or their mission. It comes through in their actions, their choices, the energy they give off.
It's subtle, like a gentle push towards awakening, a reminder of the unseen forces that are helping us evolve.
The fact that there are wanderers on Earth, it signifies something. The planet's spiritual evolution, the growing number of souls who are ready for a higher level of consciousness.
It's good to know we're not alone, that there are forces of love and light helping us wake up, individually and collectively. This deep dive into the raw material has been amazing. It's been illuminating and thought-provoking. The ideas are complex. They challenge our understanding of reality.
They do. It takes a willingness to expand our perception.
Absolutely. It's a journey of self-discovery, a quest to understand not just the external world, but our inner world as well. The raw material offers a unique perspective on the nature of reality, the evolution of consciousness, and how everything is connected.
It does.
It's a message of hope and empowerment. It encourages us to question our assumptions, embrace our uniqueness, and trust in the guidance that surrounds us. What really resonates with me is the reminder that we're all connected, part of this grand tapestry of souls, all on this journey together.
It's a powerful message. It speaks to who we truly are, beyond our physical bodies. We're souls on an incredible adventure, and we can make a difference, leave a legacy of love, contribute to the evolution of consciousness.
This has been a fascinating exploration of sessions 1 and 2 of the raw material. What final thought would you leave our listeners with as they continue their own explorations?
The raw material is complex. It has many layers. It continues to inspire and challenge people around the world. Approach it with an open mind and an open heart. Let its wisdom guide you on your journey, the journey of self-discovery, spiritual evolution. Remember the journey itself, the seeking, the learning, the evolving. That's the real destination.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. May you be guided by love, light, and the wisdom of the one infinite creator.